Hello everyone and welcome to Free Range Diva, where you will find helpful information to enhance your beauty and wellness routines. My name is Cheryl and I want to welcome you to the second in a kind of series or companion video. A few weeks ago I did the 5 foods that I eat daily for beauty and skin and good vision, healthy vision, and strong white teeth. And this one is going to be the 5 foods that I no longer eat. These break down into foods I never eat, and one, which is what I'm going to start with, something that I rarely eat. Removing these foods from my diet has had a positive impact on my health, and so I wanted to do this as a companion video to the first video because it's not only eating good things, the positive things that we do, but sometimes we need to get rid of the things that are holding us back. So that's what this video is going to be about, so let's jump into it. Many of you may know that in 2014 I developed a sensitivity, intolerance, allergy, whatever you want to call it, to corn and anything derived from corn. So there were things that I removed from my diet that I had to because of that, but we're not going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about things that I choose to remove because I feel so much better now that they're gone. And number 1 is the only food that's on the rarely list, and that is going to be sugar in the form of added sugar, not the natural sugar that occurs in like fruits and legumes and things like that, or veggies. This is going to be the type of sugar that you would just add into like desserts or your coffee or whatever. So that's number 1. And the reason that I remove sugar is because it's empty calories. By the way, yesterday I gave my hair a deep conditioning, and it really made a difference. I mean, I can tell my hair is much shinier and, has a lot more movement to it. However, the next time I do it, I want to use like heat on my hair, which means I'm going to have to find some sort of heat cap or something. Probably they have something on Amazon, but if you know what I'm talking about, let me know in the comments below if you have something like that you can put to add heat to your deep conditioning. Okay, anyway, back to sugar. Right, so sugar is basically empty calories. There's no nutritional value to adding sugar. It's just something that we tend to have an emotional reaction with. And for me, removing all sugar started several years ago when I got sick. I had some kind of a flu weirdness where the sight and smell of food made me absolutely nauseous. The only thing that I could get down was applesauce. So for about 5 or 6 days, that's all I ate was applesauce. And by the time I started feeling better, I noticed that cookie over there, I kind of didn't want it. It was just like, the smell of really sweet things kind of made me sick to my stomach. Like overly sweet, like pies or something like that. I had lost my sweet tooth. And what I also noticed is that foods that I normally wouldn't have thought of as sweet, like let's say tomatoes or Swiss chard, they tasted sweet to me because once my taste buds had been retrained to have a normal reaction to, I guess, everything, salt, savory, and sweet. And so I could taste sweet much, much easier than I could before. So I do like to bake, and so I keep things in the house like raw coarse ground sugar, maple syrup, honey, to add to things that I like bake here at home. But the one thing that I do is that I will cut any recipe, I'll cut the sugar in half. And if I can get away with cutting it even more and still manage to keep the texture, then I'll do that. If it's a question of milk chocolate or dark chocolate, I'm going to use dark chocolate. And a couple of years ago, when I did the 10-day belly slim down, that's where you basically, you eliminate all sugar, everything. It was not a problem for me because I didn't really have that much, I didn't really have a sugar craving anyway. Additionally, I also want to throw in that one of the things that is not on the rarely list, but is on the never list related to sugar, and that is artificial sweeteners. The purpose of artificial sweeteners is to trigger the tongue's sugar response, but without any calories coming along with it. This actually confuses the body, and this is why it's not surprising that using artificial sweeteners leads to weight gain and obesity. It can also mess up your gut microbiome, and it changes your taste perception. Artificial sweeteners are super sweet. So what that does is it shuts down your ability to your ability to taste sweet. You need more, I guess, to get to the threshold where your taste buds understand that this is sweet. You need this super sweet. So for an example, let's say you're someone who put artificial sweeteners in your coffee, and then you decide to stop, to go off them, and instead you want to use sugar. You will find yourself needing to use 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teaspoons, even more of sugar to get your coffee to that point where it was before on the artificial sweetener. It's because you become desensitized to sweet. And this can happen over time without you even realizing it. A few other things here that are on the that artificial sweeteners how they may impact your body is that obviously the research is still ongoing, but it's starting to look like they can trigger inflammation and slow your metabolism. They can possibly lead to a higher stroke risk and coronary artery disease and heart attacks. So if that isn't enough, it's one of those things where if you don't do anything else, in this video, seriously, dump the artificial sweeteners. And one more word about more natural sweeteners like stevia, monk fruit, things like that. For me personally, I don't use those either. The one thing that I eat regularly that has stevia in it is my protein powder, my vanilla protein powder, and that's because the stevia in there tastes good. But for the most part, all of the other sort of natural, no sugar substitute products, either to me taste awful or they upset my stomach, or both. So I don't eat those either. Those are on the no list, with, like I said, that one exception for my protein powder. Number 2, caffeine. I have not had caffeine since I was in my early 20s because caffeine impacts my brain chemistry in a way that triggers a severe depression. Now, I know that there are some places where you can read that caffeine is good for your brain. It is not good for mine. And this started because when I was in my early 20s, I fell into a deep depression. I was a coffee drinker. I drank like 3 cups daily, usually, with my mid-afternoon cup supercharged with a little extra cocoa powder in it. But I fell into a very deep depression. I just wanted the choices that I was making in my life were not making me happy, and I just wanted all of it to stop. So I ended up in therapy, and the first thing that my therapist did was take me off caffeine. She said, no coffee, and I want you to start it immediately and go cold turkey. So I did, and at the end of like a 7-day headache, I was off. I was done, because that's the only side effect that I had from going off the coffee. And it was almost as if I had been wearing gray tinted sunglasses and then suddenly took them off. The world, everything just looked brighter. And I was not in a very good place before that. I often say that some people think that the glass is half full and others think that it was half empty. I couldn't see the glass. So just removing the caffeine allowed me to see the glass and to see that things were not as bad as I thought they were, and that there were ways to change my life so that I could be a happier, more fulfilled human being. Also, it seems that chocolate, the theobromine in chocolate, does not have the same effect on my brain, so I can still have chocolate. But otherwise, I just have decaffeinated coffee, like what you see here. I grind this fresh. I buy it in bulk and grind it fresh. This one happens to be French roast decaf. And I don't have coffee every day, but when I want it, that's what I have. And then I will also have decaffeinated teas. Like this is actually an herbal tea. This is my favorite tea right now, and this is rooibos. So, but I will also have decaffeinated green tea, decaffeinated Earl Grey, so that I can still get the benefits of those, antioxidants from those beverages, but without being negatively impacted by the caffeine. Number 3, this was also something that I chose to get rid of in my 20s, I'd say late 20s, early 30s. Sodas. I was like done. First of all, I found them to be sickeningly sweet. So it was hard to even drink a whole can or something, a whole serving of them, unless they were heavily diluted with water. But from a health perspective, these are high in sugar and they're empty calories, because there's no nutritional value. So they may, if it's a caffeinated beverage, it may have some feel good. Of course, you're going to feel good from the sugar high and have more, quote unquote, energy from the sugar high, but that's all you're going to get out of it. And as far as the artificially sweetened one, I think I tried one of those once and it was like never again. They tasted awful. So yeah, 30 years or so, the only thing that I would drink is sparkling water, and it's sparkling water that's just water. And right now I'm loving this from Nixie. This is their sparkling water in the lime ginger flavor, and so this is just water, lime, and ginger, and I love this. This is very refreshing, and I really enjoy this. If I've got maybe I ate something I shouldn't have and I've got an upset stomach or something, this is really good at calming any kind of stomach issues. It calms it right down. So it's very simple, 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 sodium. It's just a refreshing drink. Number 5 is processed foods. This is not going to be shocking news to you guys that, well, actually, processed food kind of went out the window once I could no longer have corn, because most of them are corn heavy. But in general, they are high in sugar, high in salt, and high in hydrogenated fats. So what's the point? Okay, maybe they taste good, maybe they have a great mouthfeel. I don't know, because to me, the idea of that, Whole Foods just tastes so much better than anything that you can get prepackaged. If I do buy something that's processed or packaged, it's just going to be the food and seasonings, nothing else. So as an example, if y'all don't have a Trader Joe's near you, you are missing out. If nothing else, on the $3 for a dozen eggs. But this is their kettle cooked low sodium potato chips. And in this little bag, there is potatoes, vegetable oil, either sunflower, safflower, and canola oil. And don't talk to me about seed oils, because as long as it's not hydrogenated, it's a food. And then sea salt. And this, again, there's no hydrogenated fats in here. There's no trans fats. The sodium is low. It's 75 milligrams per serving. These are extremely crunchy. So for someone like me who, when I get cravings, it's usually for crunchy and salty, that's a perfect snack that I can eat. No, I don't eat tons of them, but a few with my sandwich for lunch is perfectly acceptable, and much, much better than buying something that has got, again, trans fats, high sugar, and high sodium. Finally, alcohol. Yeah, I've been a teetotaler for at least the last 4 or 5 years. I used to really love the aesthetic of having a meal with wine. The idea and the feeling of getting the most experience out of the meal was very intoxicating for me. But I didn't like the way I felt after, and it always interfered with my sleep. And as someone who has gone back and forth with insomnia, knowingly imbibing something that was going to interfere with my sleep was not a good idea. So I still use a little wine in my cooking, but of course I cook all the alcohol off. And I still love the idea of having wine with a meal. I just don't do it anymore. And that is a wrap. So if this food list resonated with you and my reasoning behind it resonated with you, then let me know in the comments below. And especially if there's anything that you've cut out your diet, I would love to know what that is and why. Also, if you found the information here helpful, then please give the video a thumbs up, because that would be helpful to me. All right, everybody, I thank you so much for watching. I thank you for the thumbs ups. And if you enjoyed what you saw today and you want to see more from me, then please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell. That way you won't miss a thing here at Free Range Diva. And if you want to know what the 5 foods are that I eat every single day for beauty and health, then check out this video right here. And until I see you in my next video, I'm going to wish you a wonderful day, a wonderful week. Take good care of yourselves, and I will talk to you again very, very soon. Bye!